What is going on, everybody? It is the Full Throttle Hog. Happy Monday to you all. And that means it's MotoVlogger Monday time for a live stream coming at you. I'm super excited to have our guest on the show today and speak with him. Somebody who has a very, very unique channel that I have a feeling is going to explode. More on his counterpart, but we are going to have Dad and Dad from Mad come on in and join us. This is somebody who, again, has a special place in my heart always, because as soon as we did the Saddle Sore 1000 and we were raising that money for the Armed Services YMCA, he reached out to me and said, look, we want to match that and put some donations in for the Armed Services YMCA and match the subscriber count. So always going to have a special place in my heart for that. But let's go ahead and bring him in right now. We're going to bring in one half of Dad and Mad, and here is Dad. Dad, what is up?
I'm just chilling, dude. Been at work today, but I'm glad to be relaxing with you tonight.
There we go. There we go. So yeah, getting right into it. Why don't you tell me just kind of, but even before the channel, can you just tell us a little bit about your riding and when you got into riding and just what bikes maybe you've had and your experience with that?
Yeah. So I started riding 12 years ago now. My uncles had bikes and my granddad had bikes before I was aware, but it never really was a thing for me. I was always about cars, and then as I started working in a city centre, I needed to commute, and parking was expensive, public transport was expensive, so I sold my car, and that paid for my bike, my test, my insurance, all my gear. And I didn't have a car then for a good few years afterwards. First, I was a Suzuki Bandit. Then I had a Triumph Street Triple R for a bit. I also had a Suzuki GSXR 750 S-Rad. I know you used to have a 750 Gixxer.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Gixxer 750.
Yeah. What else have I had? I think, and I'm now on my second Bandit, which I use for commuting. The old one, sadly, started costing more than it was worth, so that went, and I've got a new one. And then I've got the Harley-Davidson Sportster 2014 883, which I ride now.
Nice. And so with riding in the UK during the COVID and everything that's been going down, like what kind of restrictions have you been running into over there? For everybody that doesn't know, not familiar with the channel, Dad and Matt, they are over in the UK. So obviously it's a little bit different than here in the States, but if you can kind of share with us maybe some of the struggles you've had with that.
In what, during the last 12 months?
Yeah.
So at the moment we had a lockdown initially, much like everywhere else. That was kind of relaxed in the sort of summertime. So we had a little bit of freedom. With some restrictions still in place. So I managed to get out a little bit last year. And then over winter up to now, we've been in lockdown again. So not supposed to be going out riding, apart from, to work or go shopping, that kind of thing. But they are trying to ease that off in the next few months. So that's why we've, our content the last few months has been a little slow. We've been doing things a little different, maybe slightly further apart, but we're hoping to pick that up and go full steam ahead this year.
Nice. Yeah, I think it comes down to everybody, once these restrictions, same kind of thing. I mean, I launched this channel in July, which was probably the worst possible timing to not have a whole bunch of content saved up, because I wanted to get out there and film and get a whole bunch of stuff in the backlog, but it just wasn't possible. I know a lot of the motovloggers and vloggers had the same struggles. Mm-hmm. But getting into this, let's talk about the true star. Nothing against you, but the true star of Dad and Mad has got to be Mad, who's got just an amazing personality. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about how that all came to fruition? How you guys decided we're going to start a channel?
Yeah, she's definitely the star of the show. Thanks, dude. So obviously Mad's 8 years old now. She obviously grew up with knowing nothing but me riding motorcycles, watching me ride off on charity rides and rides with friends and stuff like that, and watching motorcycle racing with me, and all that cool stuff. And I've never really forced it upon her. She just grew up watching me on motorcycles, and then we always said, me and Soph, we talked about, Mama Soph's in the chat, by the way. We always talked about when she's big enough, because over here they have to be long enough to reach the passenger foot pegs. So we said when she's long enough to reach the foot pegs, and as long as she's sensible enough to understand the dangers and follow instruction and whatnot, we'll look at getting her on the bike. And 5 years old, I got a little bit impatient, put some extensions on the pegs to lift them up a little bit, and she jumped on the back. So I decided to start an Instagram just to record photographs. I thought, I'm going to stop boring friends and family with motorcycle picture after motorcycle picture every day, and I'll put a dedicated page to one side. We always used to call ourselves Daddy and Maddie anyway, so we just sort of shortened. Now she's a bit old to Dad and Mad, and we did a little Instagram. But we went out for a ride with a friend of ours, and he had his GoPro, and he said, I'll film you guys riding, you can put it on your Instagram. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. So he filmed us riding. I went to put it on Instagram, and obviously it was too long, so I was like, I've got to put it somewhere, so I'll start a YouTube, I guess. And then the same guy persuaded me to get a second-hand GoPro, a used GoPro, so I grabbed that. Had no brackets for it, had no way of mounting it anywhere, but I took it in my pocket on our next ride anyway. Put it on the seat of the bike. When we got to the biker cafe that we stopped at, Mad just picked up the camera, started filming the bikes, talking to the camera. So that's probably our third video on our channel, and then it's just sort of gone from there. We've bought mounts for the helmets, added audio a few months later, and just been going and going. And then, as you just saw, Mad's got her own little bike now as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, for everybody, if you haven't checked out the channel, you have to do it, because Mad's personality is amazing. Like, she is perfect for YouTube. She is perfect for pretty much whatever she wants to do, because she's a natural. She speaks to the camera. You guys engage very, very well. And she has zero fear. And on top of that, she is tough as nails. On that video where she takes that fall, all kids, when they take a fall and they, there's that, am I hurt or was I just scared from it? And a lot of times, unfortunately, the whole saying of getting back on the horse is one of the hardest things to do for a child. And, right in that video, she's back on it. And then she's talking about the experience of the fall and what she was feeling. I was like, man, this Mad's a superstar already. So it's just really, really cool to watch. I hope that people are just, they're going to fall in love with Mad for sure. She just has that great personality. So, and then with you, as far as when you're doing your filming, and I mean, are you guys kind of setting things up ahead of time? Like, hey, today, let's go ahead and do this. Or are you just kind of saying, let's see where this takes us, and then we'll go from there?
In terms of where we're riding and what we're doing, if we've got an event on, obviously that's pre-planned. Sometimes it's just, let's just go for a ride. Let's see, obviously with Mad being the age that she is, sometimes we're limited on how far we can go on, she's getting used to doing more distance as she gets, more comfortable and grows a little bit, I guess. But, excuse me. She, so yeah, sometimes we just take it as it comes. And in terms of videos and stuff, there's no script, there's no direction. Some of it's a surprise to me when I'm listening back, especially the stuff when she's on her own bike. I don't give her any instruction. I just send her off. She often forgets there's a microphone in there. She's just doing, obviously you've seen the intros and stuff. Sometimes she acknowledges the camera and talks to you guys, but it's a first when I get to edit. It's the first time I'm hearing a lot of that, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, no, and how these are things that are going to be with you forever. With today's technology, these memories are going to be constant from any place that you want, no matter how, being a father myself, no matter how old we get and how fast they grow up, you'll have these memories always. And I can only imagine, getting an edit done late at night and just hearing some of the commentary. It really just got to put a smile on your face.
Yeah, absolutely. And even looking back now, like to 2 years ago, to our older videos, it's crazy how much she's grown already. And I can only imagine what it's going to be like looking back on these videos in, more years to come. It's and the amount of people that say to us, I used to ride with my dad, or I used to ride with my mom, and I wish that we had the videos that you guys are doing. I wish we had the equivalent. I wish, and you guys remind us of when I used to ride with my parents. And that really, they're often private messages, but they really touch me, hearing comments like that. And, I know that I'm recording these memories for all the right reasons.
Yeah. And it comes down to when you guys are even doing the commentary, which I absolutely love, by the way. When you have it kind of almost superimposed with you and Matt talking about a ride that you had done, even I think it was even pre-COVID, and you just had both you guys just kind of talking about the journey, and she throws little jabs as far as what she doesn't like, and it absolutely cracks me up. And like I said, everybody needs to go back and watch those because they are amazing. I mean, how did that concept of creating, just, hey, let's just talk about an old ride, was that your idea, or was she like, hey, or were you watching a video with her?
So those, I mean, to be honest, that was just me, thinking it's been a little while. There's people that would like to see what we're up to. Let's, and there's not much to do right now in lockdown. Let's think of what we can do, that's kind of motorcycle related, that's not riding. I had those videos on my personal YouTube channel that, just for the purposes of sharing them with friends that were on that ride with me, years ago. And I thought, you know what, let's download them, upload them back up, get a green screen on the go, and let's show Mad these rides that I did before her and before she was on the back, and see what she makes of it. So it was good fun playing around with the green screen. It's just, just trying something out. This is the kind of stuff that you talk about on these MotoVlogger Mondays, about trying new things and, trying to change things up a bit. I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah.
Oh, I thought it turned out it surprised me. Like, I have no experience with a green screen, so I wouldn't even know where to start. But what I'm trying to do is bring up the this right here. Let me get this banner out of the way because I want people to see this. So this whole video is you guys in this green screen, and just she's watching this clip and just giving her own commentary about what she likes, what she doesn't. Every single time she sees that mask, and I don't want to ruin it for everybody because they need to go and click on that video. But she's got such a quick, witty personality, and I definitely would be excited to see more of that. And I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I know I did. So thanks. Good at you.
Thanks.
Let's check in over with everybody in the side chat so we can say hello. Skid Pig is here. Throttle Down Under says that he's at work, so he's going to catch the replay. Really excited because Throttle Down Under is actually going to be a guest on the show on March 29th. So look forward to that promo coming out. I'm excited to have him on. Bry the Biker is in the house. What is going on? Bry the Biker says, hey, Dad.
Hey, Bry. And Rob's a good guy as well from Throttle Down Under. You'll enjoy speaking to him. He's a good guy.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Mama Soph saying hello.
She's upstairs.
Let's see here. We have Knuckles TV is in the house. Thank you for stopping by. Sets or Pendants, always coming by, checking in with us. Thank you for being here. Make sure you guys, if you have questions for Dad, from Dad and Matt, and filming with a child and just that experience, make sure you guys are throwing them in the side chat so we can get that in there. North Baggers, good evening. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Oh, let's make sure I'm not missing. So hard to try to keep up, but Salty and Sprinkles in the house. Early start. So the Salty and Sprinkles, I kind of was messing around with different times and trying to get everybody throughout. Poor Dad and Matt, it's like, what time is it there right now?
a little after midnight.
So he's staying up just for you all. So go ahead and leave a like and make sure you're giving him a follow just for the late night stay up, so we can talk about stuff. The military biker is in the house. He just had a great stream with Adam Sandoval.
He did.
And adapting and overcoming to some issues from the day before, but that was a great stream. If you guys haven't had a chance to go back and look at that, you should check out that stream for sure. Let's see. So right now, I know. Oh, I want to make sure that IA Hog Rider is in the house as well. Some people popping in a little bit later here. I'm almost all caught up. And Wit Meza is in the house. Hello, Wit. Thank you for being here. Super excited. Also, just as a kind of off topic, trying to get the rest of the filming done for the check presentation for Armed Services YMCA. So look forward to getting that video to you guys, and you guys can see us handing over that check that you all helped make happen. So stand by for that. Wit says that we love the Dad Mad fam.
Oh, we love Wit
as well.
She's been a great support ever since she's been around. So we appreciate. I think she's gone already, but she just dipped in to say hello. But we appreciate it. And everybody else in here. They've been great support.
Yeah, and even the book. Let's talk about that. When the stuff that you receive in the mail and things that's got to put a huge smile on Mad's face. Like, walk me through that real quick on that experience and what you've received.
Oh, dude, it's unbelievable. So I think our very first piece of mail was from the 2 Kiwi riders. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're a great couple down in New Zealand. And they sent us a bunch of stickers, which are all on this cabinet up here. So, and then, ever since then, as you're probably aware, people trade poker chips and stickers and stuff. And Mad really enjoys opening them up. And I thought, I've seen other people do them on camera. I thought we're going to do the same. It's nice for people to see the joy on Mad's face opening them. And it's our little thank you to them. I know they're not for everyone, but, it's, again, memories for us to look back on and to look at all the things that we get. We've had Deluxe Chimp. We've got a signed autograph from Ace Frehley from Kiss. Kiss is a big favorite band of Mad's, so he sent her a signed album cover from 1995.
What?
And and he wrote Mad a little letter telling the story about how he got the autograph. And he ends it with, "I have the memories. I'd like you to have the autograph." So that's sitting proud in a frame there on the wall right now.
Wow. That must have been amazing.
Yeah. So we've had lots of, we get lots of snacks, beer for me, which, Mad usually rolls her eyes at when I get beer in the post. But we too much to mention, dude, but we appreciate all of it. We had a package from the Kiss management team at one point as well, which was pretty cool. We had a huge box full of jackets and T-shirts and hoodies and all sorts of stuff. It's insane the amount of stuff we get, and we appreciate it all. It's unbelievable.
That's super cool, and her going through, who was it that sent her the it was one of the female bikers, right, that she was going through and looking at all that stuff.
Yeah, Doodle on a motorcycle sent her the Women Who Ride 2021 calendar. Which is awesome. And so we haven't flicked through it all yet. We're going to keep each month as a surprise. But we got up to March, and so there was I can't remember her name. There's a lady from Georgia, I believe, from a motorcycle clothing company. Then there was Jess from Her Two Wheels, and then there was Amanda from As the Magpie Flies. And when Mad read out, you've probably seen it on Instagram, when she read out what Amanda was all about, she was like, "I like her. She rides a motorcycle and she's an illustrator." So I was like, yeah. I didn't even have to, she's just got her own little thing going on now. She knows what she likes, as you said.
Yes. Yeah. So cool to see, her experiencing all that along with you. And so talk me through her getting that bike. Tell us what kind of bike she's got, and then her first ride and your thoughts when she first took off.
Yeah, well, she, it's probably something that we've probably spoke about on and off, but not at any great length until last year. At the start of COVID, we had 2 weeks isolation because Mad had a fever. We had to stop him for 2 weeks. So I just threw it out there. Who wants to be interviewed by Mad? Because Mad had done 2 interviews at a bike show the year before. And we had a list of people that jumped up and said, I'd love to do that. So we started doing interviews with people, getting to know some great people in the community. And one of those people was a Dynamo Tight Star. He's a UK motovlogger. And his son has an electric dirt bike. And when Mad saw the video, she was like, I want one of those. And I thought, well, I said, do you want a petrol one or electric? She was like, electric. And it needs to be, this color and that exact bike or whatever. And I couldn't get that bike, but I found one pretty much the same. I said, but, we can't afford it right now. There was some difficulties, COVID related with Mama Sof's, we didn't know what was happening with Mama Sof's job and this, that, and the other without going into too much detail. But so I said, not right now. And I said, if you want to pay for it yourself, if you want to save up for a bike, then that's up to you. And she was like, oh yeah, I've got £5 in my money box and I've got some 2p's and 1p's. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I thought this is going to take a while. And then for her birthday, she got so much cash. And I said, what do you want to buy? Do you want to buy books? Do you want to buy computer games? She was like, I want to buy my motorcycle. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So she chose, it's called an off-speed. So it's 500 watt, 36 volt. It's got 3 speed settings. So it goes 5 mile an hour, 9 mile an hour, and 15 miles an hour. You can set it high, medium, low.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got the monoshock suspension. It's got the disc brakes. It's a cool little bike. And this is her just getting used to it now on this video that you're watching. We go over the local park. It doesn't bother anybody because it's so, it doesn't make a noise, doesn't stink, doesn't leak. So yeah, nobody bats an eyelid. It's just like she's on a fast pedal cycle. So it's
I think this is one of her first her little fall right here.
Oh, that's a little one, yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, she's a trooper though. She's like, hey, I'm good. Little pain in my hand, and then she gets back on. And like I said, her commentary of getting back on the bike, and sometimes she doesn't even realize there's a mic in there, but that's got to be so much fun to edit because I was cracking up because she just gets back on there. She's like, all right, let me tell you about what just happened, which is super, super cool.
Yeah, I like it when sometimes she does a little analysis of what happened as well. And she, she breaks it down, like you say.
Yeah, super cool. A couple other people popped in. I want to make sure that we say hello to them. Touring Midwest, hello. Thank you for coming in and watching tonight's stream.
How's it going, Drew?
F. Caputo is in the house. Thank you for coming in. Something about Megan's Moto Adventures. She is here. Megan's got a Instagram channel. She does a little bit of everything. She does dirt and track and street and Harley. Really cool Instagram channel. Let's see. And just where did that go? Let's see. I just lost my track. Somewhere. Dang it. Give me just a second. Oh, there it is. The wife, who's also watching in the other room. I got to make sure I say hello. Hello, wife. So now for events, are you planning on maybe taking Mad to actual like events in the UK and like doing full blown? Tell me about like the different events that you guys have there and for motorcycles and what your plans might be.
Yeah, so we're part of an owners group. I've been part of the owners group since I had my Sportster, called Sports to Sickness UK, and they're a 10,000 strong Facebook based Sportster owners group. It's a great community. I'm an administrator on there as well, so I help out with certain bits and pieces. And we have a couple of national events a year. That got so big that the last few years we've had to take one of the main events to a different racetracks every year, where we do we meet up on the road, meet at a service station or whatever, ride to the racetrack, meet up, have a chat, and then we'll do a few parade laps. Some people ride more spirited than others, and think they might have a little, open up the gas a little bit on the circuit. Why not? And I think the last time we did it, we were almost like end to end around the whole race circuit. There was that many bikes there, and it was predominantly Sportsters, like 95% Sportsters.
Wow.
So yeah, we do a lot of events with Sportster Sickness. That's an awesome community that you could take from, as much or as little as you want from that. And the people in the sickness love Mad as well. They love to see her out with us. Ride to the Wall is a big event that's very close to my heart. Mad's not been on that yet, so maybe Mama Soph and Mad will join us this year. It's they're planning on it going ahead at the end of this year in October, so fingers crossed for that.
Tell me about Ride to the Wall. Like, what does that entail? What are you doing?
It is a national ride of respect for the fallen veterans. So far I think it's in its 13th or 14th year. I might be slightly off there, but we've raised over £1 million for the upkeep of the National Memorial Arboretum. So, it's the wall with all the names of everybody who's been killed in action since World War II. There's a couple of videos on my channel. One way we ride to the National Memorial Arboretum in tribute to Ride to the Wall that was cancelled last year, and then if you're interested, if you look back at 2019's Ride to the Wall video, I'm especially proud of that. It was a difficult one to make, but I had a lot of feedback on that it conveys, the feeling of the event quite well. So if you're interested, give that a look.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I always ride there. The first time I ever did that event was with my friend Johnny Flame was his nickname, and he'd done a couple of tours. So he was pointing out, comrades of his that were on the wall. And then before I could do another one with him, he himself was killed in action in Afghanistan. So every year I ride to honor him. Sorry.
No, that's I appreciate you sharing that. That's I'm sure it's hard to talk about, but that's a very cool tribute, for you to do, and I'm sorry that for your loss, and for his family, but thank him for his service. That's all we can do. We're all here living the dream, having a live chat right now, because of all those that sacrificed and served. So that's very cool for you to share that story. I know it's got to be pretty tough, but I will definitely go back and watch that video. I will tell you that much.
Thank you, dude. And that event is that's what it's for, is to honor those who can no longer ride by our side, and that gave their tomorrow for our today. So it's it's weird to say it's a great event given what it's for, but it is a really good event that raises a lot of money for the upkeep of it keeps the site a free to enter site. So friends and family of those that are on the wall can go there at no cost, and it's really well kept, and they're always adding stuff to it. So, and we're one of the Ride to the Wall event is one of the biggest contributors to that memorial site. So it's really good work that they're doing there. So, but on a lighter note, we have the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride as well. I don't know if you guys do that. I know they hold it all over the world. I don't know if you have it in your state at all.
I'm not sure. Tell me more about it. They probably do. It's not something I've done just yet, so I'll probably have to. I can't speak intelligently on it, so let me know. What is that?
Everybody dresses as dapper gentlemen, and gets on their motorcycles. Or everybody does it on the same day every year across the world. It started in Australia a few years back, and it raises money for men's mental health and prostate cancer and other men's health charities.
Now that I think about it, I think I saw some a lot of Instagram photos from maybe last year, so I think that they do it. That's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna look into that for sure.
It's good fun.
Yeah. Now predominantly, what is I would say the bike of choice in the UK? You know, everybody's kind of got, you know, different depending on where you go, but is there one that that you see more of than anything else?
I'd say it's difficult. You see a lot of sports bikes. There's a lot of, it's European, Japanese bikes, but you see a lot of Harleys too. You don't see that many baggers out on the roads that much. It's not. You could probably ride top to bottom of the country in a day. So it's not like you need to be paying the miles in loads of comfort, and you could have probably nipped back home if you forget anything within a couple of hours. So it's probably not as necessary. And our roads are, we have a lot of hills, a lot of bends, a lot of curvy roads. So you don't see as many baggers, but I would love one, to be honest with you. But Sportsters are obviously popular from what I just said. There's 10,000 members on that owners group. But yeah, a lot of Japanese, a lot of sports bikes. My uncle's had sports bikes, a lot of naked bikes, Soph's Honda Rebel, bikes like that.
So when you're out and you're going to be doing some filming, I mean, I can only imagine just looking about how much crap I got to put inside of my saddlebags just to make sure. I mean, I have nothing but film gear in my saddlebags. So where are you putting all your stuff that when you need to take, if you're going to go for a ride and you're like, yeah, I need to document all this, because I see that you have the drone too, right? So
yeah, I'm just getting into that. Soph got me that at the start of last year before COVID. So I took it out a couple of times, but I want to get into that a bit more, especially, watching what you do with yours, and Skid Pig, who's in the chat, what, stuff that he does with his and other people as well. Like, it's really, I really want to get a bit more practice with flying it, and then getting more confident and not so scared about losing it. But I know that's a healthy respect to have, I guess. But so yeah, I want to get into that. But I had a rack put on welded onto the back of the sissy bar. So if Mad is on the back, I can then put a rucksack or bigger luggage that I've got, or a tent and sleeping bag, etc. Put that on the back of the sissy bar. So obviously when I'm solo, it's not such a big deal. I can put stuff on the back seat or on the rack. But when Mad's on the back, and Soph's only a little bit, and she's quite new to riding, so I don't want to use her as like a pack mule either and get her lugging everything around. So yeah, it is a bit of a balancing act, but I'm hoping to practice that more this year. If not, maybe towards the back end of this year, start of next year, start practicing going further afield, maybe a family camping trip with just the bikes. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, no, it is scary when you're flying. Now, which drone are you flying?
A Mavic Mini.
A Mavic Mini. So yeah, with the new technology of Mavic, it's definitely better than the older stuff. So when I went to Sturgis last year, I had the Phantom 3 Pro, which still relied heavily on a cell phone signal, and that, I mean, I get phone calls that drop. So I was always afraid of that flyaway. In those horror stories, I knew I was going to be one sooner or later. But with the new, and I have now the Mavic Air 2, and same kind of software they're using, the Fly app, where now it's going off a satellite. So that helps a lot ease my concern about the drone flying away. But just like anything else, you got to get out and practice. I still practice with it. I'm not sure how the rules are out there, but here, any type of commercial, if you're a user, if you're going to use it for any type of profit or even YouTube stuff, they require you to have an actual drone license. Is that the same out there?
I've got like a license, and I've got an operator number that I have to put on the drone and stuff like that. I also took out insurance because I thought I don't want to be, I don't have to be paying out my own pocket if I knock somebody out or hit their car or anything like that, if it drops on somebody. So I took out insurance. It was cheap enough. And I'm, so I've got plenty of cover now. But yeah, there is some restrictions. I don't know if they're quite the same, but the commercial stuff, I think that's been relaxed a bit more now. and there's also been some changes this year which I need to refresh myself on. I think at the end of last year, start of this year, where we've got a bit more freedom. You can fly it in more places now than you could before.
Oh, that's good.
And with the Mavic Mini, it's under 250 grams, so I think there's more freedom there as well for me.
100%. And the image from the Mavic Mini is so impressive. I really think that's a good choice. If I did not have the Mavic Air 2, I would do a Mavic Mini for sure. Just ease of use. I had the Phantom 3 Pro, which was in a huge carrying case, and just to get the thing set up, and I'd have to put it on the rack, and it just was a headache. Now they're so small and they compact so tightly that I just throw it in the saddlebag and just launch it. But I still am out whenever I can trying to practice and just get better and more comfortable with that drone. Out here, the restrictions have gone kind of the other way, because back in I would even say 2017, 2018, we really didn't have any restrictions. There was no, it's amazing that more accidents didn't happen, I guess. But, I remember flying at night. I remember getting, that's no longer acceptable unless you have anti-collision lights and all the other rules, which, don't get me wrong, it's all about safety. And I agree. It's just crazy how in just a few years things can go from, it's very much regulated now, which I think it would have got out of control if it didn't.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've just been using, when Mad's been out practicing on the electric bike, that's when I've took the opportunity to take the drone. So while I'm not riding and having to, I'll just take that in the rucksack and carry the bike next to me. And when she gets up the field, I'll just let her go, and I'll just get the drone up. So we're both playing with our new toys.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the best way to do it. So tell me about your thoughts on Harley and their direction. Have you been kind of keeping up with the all their releases and what you think of their current direction?
Yeah. So I like the look of the Pan America. It's not a bike that I would buy myself unless I had a big enough garage and enough money to have, multiple bikes. Right. And I said this, I was on a live last night as well, and they asked a similar question on Bronco Ride's channel. And I said, I'm not really sure if you're a Honda rider and you've got, if you're a Harley rider and you've already got, a Road Glide or whatever, and you're out for a second bike and you're into your Harleys, maybe you'll get the Pan America then as something, a bit of a change up, bit of something different. I'm not sure if adventure bike riders will make the switch to a Harley Davidson adventure bike. So I'm not really sure who they're aiming for. But I hope it does well. I would, I wish them every success with it, but longevity of it, I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's in the it being a generation one is always is always a scary thought. The one thing that I will say, I mean, they, as bad of a hit that they took the last few years and their stocks being down, they do have a huge R&D department that I would think that they would have caught everything that they need. But I mean, just it being generation one, I'll be honest with you, it grew on me. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much, but same kind of thing. If I had, definitely enough funds to have multiple bikes, I might give it a go and just see if, they say don't knock it until you try it. I've never had an adventure bike, or I've either had the dirt bike or the street bike. So who knows? Maybe I'd like it. What other kind of manufacturers are, in this, I guess, in the cruiser status versus, I guess, any other manufacturer? What are the other manufacturers that you enjoy?
Oh, I love Triumph. They're British. I had a Triumph Street Triple R, like I said earlier, and that was, probably the best handling bike that I've owned out of all of them. I would have one again. I'll still think about having one again. So I would maybe consider the Speed Triple, although I did test ride one and the front wheel likes to lift quite a bit on the model that I rode. But I would love another Street or Speed Triple for sure. Sports bikes, as much as I love that GSXR, it was going to get me in a heap of trouble. So I'm probably better off away from those. I would love to try dirt bikes, or dual sport. I'd love to give those a try, but not really my mainstay. Like I say, I would love a bagger just for the pure distance and doing distance with Mad on the back in comfort with all the luggage, like we say. That would be awesome. But Triumph, is my next one.
What's that Triumph? I'm trying to think of the model. What's the newest model they had, the big engine?
The Rocket 3.
Oh yeah. I even did a little something on the channel on the Rocket. That thing looks like a beast. I mean, it literally looks like you have a Corvette engine inside of a bike.
Yep. Is it 2.5 liter or 2.3? I can't remember. Is it 2?
I can't remember either, to be honest with you. 2.3
or 2.5. But yeah, it's Clint from. It was your mate Clint, wasn't it? That you went out with him. Yeah.
So Clint actually has a lot of dealerships here that just give him bikes. I mean, he's got a radio personality, so he speaks about things on air, which is huge. He also out here locally, he's on a local news channel in the mornings on Friday, where they literally dedicate like a 15-minute section for him to bring in a bike, introduce it. Of course, he talks about the dealership, but that gives him almost infinite bikes to test out, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So as soon as he gets a Pan America, I'm going to make sure that I'm available that day for sure, just so I can take advantage. But that's pretty much how we started on a lot of our collaborations. And now on top of everything else, he's got a new podcast coming that is going to be, it's going to be amazing. The guests that he'll have on there, and he's going to, open it up to not just motorcycles. He wants it to be like motorcycle centric, but more about just people's lives and just different adventures. And I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah.
Really well.
I caught you guys talking about that on one of your previous videos, and it sounds really good. I'll be keen to listen to that podcast for sure.
Awesome. So we talked about saddle sore stuff, and I know we went kind of back and forth through DMs. What kind of research have you done since that time on saddle sore? And then I want you to kind of tell everybody about the idea you have about a saddle sore, because I think it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah. Obviously, Wit it was an inspiration with her saddle sore, and then obviously I was tuned into your. I don't know if I watched it live or watched it back afterwards, but I watched your MotoVlogger Monday with Wit when you went on your spur of the moment saddle sore, and that was inspiring. So I enjoyed the footage of both of those, and I always thought, I wonder if they do it. I wonder if it's recognised if you do it over here. And I think Wit said to me, you should ask, or you should find out. And then I talked to you about it as well. And then that's when I talked to you about it. I actually went on the website and found that they do recognise it over here. And that got me thinking, how far would I have to ride in the UK to get that done? Now, for where I am in the West Midlands, which, if you can't tell from the name, is sort of in the middle to the west a little, I would have to ride through England, up to Scotland, up to Loch Ness. I'm sure most people have heard of the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, yeah.
And ride around. I'm thinking I need to figure out how long it is around the loch, because I think it's 400 odd miles to Loch Ness. So maybe riding around the loch would just get it over the 500, enough for me to ride back home. And
so it's crazy. That's crazy because real quick for Dynaride at 91. So Saddle for Iron Butt Challenge. So the Iron Butt Association, the Saddle Sore 1000 is the actual certification of the Iron Butt Association. So Iron Butt Challenge, then you have your Bun Burner 1500, you have the Saddle Sore 1000, and then all the others. So yeah, we're talking about the same thing. Now, for you to just say that, I'm going to leave and I'm going to ride up through Scotland and then go around to Loch Ness. When you were telling me all that, I'm like, that to me, that sounds like a trip of a lifetime to just to be able to do that, because I'm over here and, it's just, I would love to do that ride. So for you to say, yeah, I'm going to go up to Loch Ness, I'm like, because when you certify your saddle sore event, you get to tell them the major areas that you hit that will go on your certification. and I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, I have like Los Angeles and San Francisco, and I'm like, oh,
Dude,
I'd rather.
the grass is always green on the other side, right? I would love to do. We'll trade. We'll trade.
Yeah, there we go. We'll swap for a week. We got to be careful though. We have both wives going back and forth in the side chat. It's going to be a mutiny. They are. I like it. I like it. And then so tell me, Mama Soph, so she enjoys riding with you then?
Yes. So at first she did because our licensing is a little different over here. So she had a 125cc Honda Shadow as her first motorcycle, which she loved. In one of our videos, it's not my best work, but one of our videos is where we went out with Sports of Sickness on just a little local ride. And me and Soph were leaving the car park of the pub, and we were supposed to just stop and wait for the pack to roll out. But Soph was just in the moment. She was just, she was not stopping for anybody. So she just pulled out the pub. And next thing you know, Sophie's leading a pack of Harleys on her 125cc Honda Shadow through the country roads to the next pub. Just one drink, that's all. We were being responsible. But that was pretty funny. And she's been out a few times with the sickness and stuff, and they were really supportive. And people on the channel and on our Instagram that have followed her journey have been super supportive, especially the ladies out there, for sure. So we thank all those. And now she's got her. Well, there's a little bit in the middle where we bought a 1200 Sportster. We bought a 1200S, with the adjustable suspension.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to have the piggyback shocks on the back, the adjustable front suspension, twin spark, all that. And it was purple. It had a lot of chrome. It was mint condition. It was a beautiful bike. Soph was dead set on riding that. She passed the test. We got her insured in it. She got on it and realised, she said it's not working. It was because Soph's 5 foot nothing really, and Ooh. She's she's only a little bit, so it was a bit top heavy for her. So I was like, not a problem, let's look at something else. We'll move on. And she just settled on the Honda Rebel. So she got a Honda Rebel 500, which is very nice. But obviously with COVID and all that, she's not had as much practice as she would like over the last sort of year or so. So like I said, we intend to change that this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's so cool. I mean, I will tell you, and I know I've said this story several times. My wife and I met on motorcycles 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years this September. And, the fact that you can, I think the motorcycle community in itself is like none other. And you only understand that if you ride a bike, and you don't have to be a part of a specific group. You don't have to be really involved in any type of association. You can literally get on your bike, mm-hmm. and motorcycle riders just kind of find each other, and friendships are born. But being able to have that experience with my wife, and we get to take these adventures together, and of course I put her to work. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I give her a camera and say, hey, make sure we get this shot and that shot. And truth be told, I mean, I'll get back and the footage that she's capturing is very, very good. Very pleased with it. And she always is, looking at edits when it's all said and done, and she's seeing which shots of hers that I actually used in the final production. But, just having those experiences, I think with, your family, I mean, you even have Matt involved. You guys are all enjoying this motorcycle lifestyle, which is just amazing.
That's what I love. I mean, I know some people enjoy the getting away from the wife and kids or whatever for a bit and having a break, and I can still do that. If I want to go out and do a ride on my own, I can still go on my own. Me and Soph can go out on a date night on the bikes, and Mad can stay with somebody else for, with the grandparents or whatever, and we can always go out as a family, and we can have our little dad and Mad time. So it's the best of everything. And the fact that I can share my, not have to choose between my hobby and my family time is like combining the two is just like the ultimate for me. It's I love it.
Yeah. Well, let's check back into the side chat. I know that the girls have been going back and forth. Dyna Rider 91 says he just got the Mrs. Dyna Rider 91 on her first bike, 2021 Harley 1200 Special. That is awesome. He's right there, pretty much in sync with what we were just talking about. Just having that ability to get them out there with us, whether they're on the back or riding on their own. It's awesome. Those are good times. At the wife, you screwed up now. You need to screw up the footage. Oh wow, yeah. let's not do that. Now she's getting really good. She's like we're talking about like reveal shots. She's doing, she's getting pretty creative. When I go back and I'm looking at all the footage, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I always joke around that if I get the wife her own business card, the front and the back would be just she does my marketing, she does different promoting, she does the filming, mailers, you name it. I got her busy.
I don't know how Mama Toph would feel about me getting mad to hold on one-handed holding a camera out yet. I think
probably not the best idea. Be frowned upon. Let's see here, who am I missing? So it says, hoping to get health issues under control this year. Heavy Sportster 48 sitting in the garage that I was only able to ride a few times. Eager to get back in the saddle. Yeah, hope so too. Hopefully you get well and you can get back out there. I'm sure it's probably very frustrating to just see the bike sitting there as well. And that goes around for most people. Yeah, I can only imagine, like, here in the colder part of the country, Midwest, we were talking, backstage before we started about, snow in the Midwest and having to hibernate the bike for a season. They got to be itching, and spring is here. It's right around the corner, at least for us on our side, that we're going to be getting excited. So out there where you're at, what is technically the best time to ride? So if I went to visit, and no, this is not going to be, I'm jumping on a plane coming out there tomorrow, but if I were to visit, what month would I want to get out there?
July, I would say. August. Mum myself might back me up there. Yeah, that's like the height of the summer. That's probably as hot as you're gonna get, but it's not even that hot. Occasionally you might get a day where if you're sitting at a traffic light with if you had all the gear on. I know you rock a t-shirt with your cut on is that on more local rides, or do you just do that whenever?
It really depends on the weather. I do like just having that, a little bit. I mean, I have my full riding jacket that has a hoodie underneath. Usually I have to look at, different temps. I didn't make the mistake when we did our Arizona Bike Week, when we left early that morning, going up through a pass. It was like 38 degrees and I was only wearing that long t-shirt and my vest. And that got really, really cold. So that was a bad idea. But usually I look at where's my ride going to take me? Like I said, my saddlebags are all used up. So if I have that big jacket, I have to wear that jacket. And out here, you might have the morning start out at 45, but it's going to be 81 in the afternoon. So I always have to look at that. So in your July, what are we talking about temperatures? Like, give me a rundown.
I would have to convert it to maybe so a heat wave over here is probably like 37 Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
I think it's 90 something.
Yeah, maybe.
What is 30 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit? We got to ask Siri.
It's 86 degrees.
86 degrees. So that's warm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a heat wave though. That's pretty rare. That's like record temperatures for us, like up high 30s, so 90s, I guess, is like record temperatures for us. So it's pretty rare that we get that. You get it maybe once a year, and then, like I say, it's only when you stop at traffic lights that you regret wearing the hoodie and you wish you were in a t-shirt. But most of the time, you can get away. That's why I don't think it's as big of an issue over here. Like, you don't get the discussions about gear because you have to wrap up anyway, so you may as well be wearing your protective gear. Cuts the wind out, keeps the warmth in.
Yeah.
But well, in the summer it's nice. You would be all right.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would love to make that trip. I know that is going to be definitely on my bucket list to do in the future if I can plan it out. But right now we are entering that part of the show, or we are going to do Around the Horn, and this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to place you at your starting point, unless there's a specific route of this Around the Horn, because usually I say that you're heading to Sturgis. So for me, I want to start you off saying, okay, we'll start you off in San Diego, only because that's my area, right? So you're in San Diego and you're going to take a ride to Sturgis. What motorcycle are you on that you don't currently own?
See, when I first saw this segment on your show, I'm with the majority of people with the Road Glide CVO. But
That's it.
Yeah, that would be my choice. If I'm going any, it's a fair distance. Is it a fair distance out to Sturgis from there?
Yeah, I think it's like 1,300 miles. So
yeah, I'll take the CVO Road Glide. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with all the upgraded suspension, right? Like, I mean, that's a long hike on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're leaving San Diego. You're on your new CV. What color are you going to get, by the way? Just curious. What color you want?
Can I have any color I want, or does it have to be
Can be any color you want.
Black with hints of orange?
Ooh, black with orange. I like it. Okay, so you're leaving San Diego, and there's one person that gets to go with you. It can be anybody with us or past. One person that gets to go with you on your trip. Who's it going to be?
Obviously, people might think I would say Mad, and that would be awesome. But I would choose, for this segment, I would choose my granddad, Bill.
Yeah, and there we have. This is your granddad here?
Mm-hmm. That's him.
Super cool. So, just out of curiosity, you know what kind of bike he would want to be riding?
I doubt he would want to ride that 1930s Ariel to Sturgis. I'd like to hear what he's got to say about my bike, though. Maybe I'll put him on my Sportster.
On the Sportster?
Which is probably not that much better, but we'll do it anyway.
Yeah, let's see if the I got some more here that I want to share with everybody, but this kind of fell apart on me real quick. Let me see.
It's all good.
Let me just get back in this here. So you and your granddad, which I think is awesome, by the way. You guys are taking this trip to Sturgis, and you are on your CVO with black with a little bit of orange in it. Hang on, I do want to pull this up before the next question. Give me just a second. This is what happens when you have like multiple screens going on. You don't know which one's which. Let me share this. All right, that looks good here. Sorry. All right, so your granddad. Man, what cool photos! Like, did somebody say I've got a cool photo of granddad, or is this always? Have you always had this?
No, I didn't discover these photographs until I started riding myself, and then my mum started digging into family tree and family photographs and stuff, and found these, which I think are awesome. I intend to. I think we've got the originals somewhere, so I'm going to try and get those and try and get as good a copy as I can and get them up on the wall when we redecorate.
Super cool.
In the house, yeah.
All right, so you're heading to Sturgis, and you get to Sturgis. You guys had a great ride. And you get to sit down and have a drink with your granddad. What is it going to be?
We are going to drink my homebrew because he used to make homebrew, and I remember seeing his demijohns and stuff on the mantle, next to the fire when I was a kid. I always wondered what these weird shaped things were in the top of his bottles. So I'd love to hear. I got into it since COVID began, so I'd love to hear what he thinks of my homebrew.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So now the toughest question is this for Around the Horn, the final question, the fourth question, which is you get to ask your grandfather one question that no matter what it is, he's going to tell you what the answer is. What would be that question you would ask him?
Well, he passed when I was about 14, and I don't recall, he might have mentioned motorcycles, but we never really, that's one thing I think about a lot, is I wish I knew him as a man, as I am now. I wish we could talk now, because we used to have such good conversations then. I can't imagine what we'd be talking about now. So I think I would just ask him more about his days on motorcycles, and ask him, to tell me some of his best stories of days on his bike.
Oh man, that would I would want to be just in the room hearing that conversation, all the way around it. And some of the cool things of what we're all doing now and creating this video, kind of diary of our life that our kids and grandkids are going to be able to look back and be like, hey, I wonder what granddad was like, and they're going to be able to pull this up. If only we could have had that technology. With those new bikes. Super cool. I'm very grateful that you shared those photos with us, because that was awesome. When you sent them over, I was like, dang, what I wouldn't give to have some of those types of photos of my grandfather.
Thanks, Dave.
But yeah, so let's see. I think I'm a little bit behind here on the side chat. Writer, got my first video in a month up today, and I'm excited to be back making content. Congratulations. That's always rough when you have to take that downtime. So you guys aren't already, check out Dynawriter91. Check out his new stuff. So right now you're working with how many cameras are you trying to manage when you're doing these?
It depends on how many of us are out riding, I suppose. I've just bought a new GoPro earlier this year. I got the 9 Black. I got the Insta 360. I got the drone. I suppose I like to have one on the bars, one on my helmet, one on Mad's helmet. If Soph's out, one on her helmet. And then Mad's going to carry one of those around, or the 360 around. And then if I take the drone as well. That's a good few cameras, dude. And I don't know. I'm sure there's a better way that I can manage these, and I've picked a few hints and tips up from your previous videos, but I feel like I could do better with trying to streamline that. But I daren't not record the rides, because Mad, as you say, she just comes out with the craziest stuff at the weirdest time, and I don't want to miss that stuff. So I often end up sitting through hours of ride footage, picking out those little nuggets.
And that could be, I'll tell you right now, you're looking at what, 5-6 cameras. I mean, that for people that may be looking at getting into motovlogging or only dealing with the one, I mean, it does get a little overwhelming when you're dealing. Mm-hmm. So my golden rule is this, and I guess this would be my tip for this week's, MotoVlogger Monday, is that rule number 1 is when you're done riding for your day, especially if you're going on a trip, the first thing you're going to do is you need to go in and download all of your media. For me, that's probably the best thing that I can do to start my organization when I'm dealing with multi, cameras, because just for me, I usually have my 8, my 9, the 4, the drone, and my Nikon. So with that, I just make sure that I go in each camera gets its own little folder. I'll dump it in there. I'll go grab a beer and go see, whenever it's done. And then I'll switch off to the next camera. Mm-hmm. Then I have that labeled as that specific day. And then when I'm editing, I have to make sure that I, go through all the footage, which, as takes a long time, especially if you're recording a 30-minute, hour-long ride, to find those golden pieces. I typically like, and it's easier for me because Mad, like you said, you just got to keep her camera going no matter what. You have to, because we're all looking forward to that. But for me, I try to break down my segments into shorter clips. So I'll do, anywhere from, let's call it 7 seconds to 15-second clips at a time, unless I'm actually doing a vlogging or a talking head. But then when I input it, or import it into Adobe, I also have to make sure I color grade that footage. And which software are you using?
The last couple of months I've been trying out Filmora.
Oh, okay.
But I'm open to suggestions. But I know that Adobe is a little pricey, and that's, you know, it's always a juggling act between spending money on the, you know, family and Mad and Mama Soap, of course, and Days Out, as opposed to buying loads of new gear for the channel, which you could argue is maybe a little unnecessary sometimes.
100%. And I would even say, you know, as far as, I mean, I only use Adobe because my channel is still very, very small. Only because I've been using it for 20 years and it's just what I know like the back of my hand, and I use it on my other channel. But even then, I mean, it is costly. And I would tell people that until your channel starts making you money, where you can actually just say, okay, this is, you know, pretty much a write-off here, and you can use that as an expense, then, you know, all those programs out there that are free right now are amazing. I've seen a lot of good ones. So, you know, for me, it's just color grading that, or not color grading, just color labeling the footage so that when it's in my timeline, I know exactly what I'm looking at. But managing 6 cameras, I feel your pain. And I'm sure people do in the side chat as well.
I'll do the same thing as you there, dude. I label, you know, I tend to drop the footage in folders. So, you know, dad helmet, mad helmet, bar, you know, so I know what each one is. But the color grading bit, I don't know if that's possible. I saw it on one of your videos before, and I thought I need to check out if I can do a similar kind of thing on Filmora. I'm not sure I can, but
yeah, it'd be interesting. I would be interested to know that if you find that answer too, because I have a lot of people that ask, like, other than Adobe, what do I recommend for a free software? And there's so many good ones out there. The whole thing for me is I just don't know them well enough to teach stuff. I try to find areas and categories that would be able to be used in other stuff and not specific to Adobe. Because I mean, Premiere Pro is just it's so advanced. I've been using it for 20 years and I only use about 60% of its capabilities. I mean, that's how advanced it is. And it's almost impossible to keep up unless you're doing this night and day.
yeah. Sorry, dude. Go on.
No, that's okay. I'm just looking at some other stuff that people are putting in here. So
I was using iMovie up until recently, and the only reason I switched to Filmora was because I felt like I'd done everything I could do with iMovie. I was, you know, there's not much new for me to play with on there, and I'd sort of maxed it out. You know, I felt like I'd outgrown it for a change, so I thought it's time to move on to something else and learn some new little bits and pieces.
So this is an interesting one, Dinah Ryder, bringing this up, because I know that this question was asked to me by a few other people on if Power Director can do a multicam tool, and Dinah Ryder just answered that for me. So I've heard that Power Director is a fantastic software. I've only seen it a few times, but the fact that it has the multicam tool, I mean, that saves you a ton of work.
Yeah,
a ton of work.
I think if I was riding on my own, you know, I would do like you said, just, you know, hit the button, do your little bit, hit the button again, move on. But I can't even take my camera off while me and Mad are out riding, because if she comes out with something, or we're having a, you know, conversation back and forth, then it needs to record my audio as well. So I just leave them both running.
Yeah, and then you just kind of, you know, you have to maybe even look at how much time you've been riding. If you know there's a certain segment that you're like, I gotta catch this part, you know, maybe just try to take a quick mental note.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's it.
So let me just make sure. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up today's live stream. I'm super excited that you carved out some time. I know it's extremely late at night over there, but I think that it's important that people got a chance to get to know you. One of these days, we should probably try to plan a live stream, maybe on the weekend and like maybe midday, where we could actually get Matt on the live stream, because that would be super cool. So maybe you can run that idea by her and see if she'd be into that, because I'd love to have her on talking about her experiences and things like that. But
I'm sure she would love it. I don't think she's done a live yet, and there is some reluctance from me because you never know what she's going to come out with. You know, I've had to edit her telling, saying her home address out on a mail call before and stuff. So I'm just a little bit, yeah, we'll have to try it at some point for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to do it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you to John from Dad and Matt. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, you have to go check them out. So unique, so awesome. They contributed to the Armed Services YMCA for the saddle sore. John, thank you so much. Let's keep in touch and just let me know how things are going. And, we'll continue to follow along with your video.
Absolutely, man. And just thanks for having me on. I've been following you for a while now, and I've been, really excited. I'm a big fan of your work as well. And I just really appreciate you, inviting me on and thinking of us. So thank you very much. And thanks to, everybody in the side chat and anybody watching afterwards for their support. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, John, have a great night. Get some sleep, buddy.
Cheers, man. See you later, everyone.